Welcome guys. So next we will continue with the features of Selenium IDE. So the next is the default timer. So in the previous video tutorial we discussed about the Selenium IDE options dialog box contents. So in the Selenium IDE options dialog box we discussed about the default time value, as this refers to the time that Selenium has to wait for a certain element to appear or become accessible before it generates an error. So the default time value is 30,000 milliseconds. So the next is Selenium IDE extension. This is where you specify the extensions you want to use to extend the Selenium IDE capability. So you can see that Selenium IDE extensions. So you visit the particular Mozilla Firefox website and use the Selenium as a keyword to search for the specific extension. Then remember the base URL. So just you click on this remember record the absolute. Okay, so with this one Selenium IDE extension, then remember the base URL. So this you are checked here, remember base URL. Keep this checked if you want to Selenium IDE to remember the base URL. Every time you launch it, if you uncheck this, the Selenium IDE will always launch with a blank value for the base URL. It is always launched, means if you are not checked, so the base URL will be blank. Auto start record. If you check this, the Selenium IDE will immediately record your browser's action upon startup. Locator builders, this is where you specify the order by which locators are generated while recording. Locator builders, so the locator builders means you will get in the Selenium IDE option. Okay, there's different locator builders: ID, name, CSS. Okay. So the locator builders, this is where you specify the order by which locators are generated while recording. Locators are ways to tell the Selenium IDE which user interface element should a Selenium command act upon. In the setup window, when you click on an element with an ID attribute, the element's ID will be used as a locator. Since ID is the first one in the list, if the element does not have an ID attribute, then Selenium will next look for the name attribute. Okay, so the locators are the way to tell the Selenium IDE which user elements should a Selenium command act upon. So the element with an ID or ID attribute, or element with an name attribute. For example, username. Username has there is no ID attribute for the username. The attribute is a name. Okay, and for a login button, like sign in button, the attribute is that is also name. Okay, so some attributes for that, the elements is located by the ID attribute, name attribute, that we will see in the while we create the script. So this list goes on and until an appropriate is found. So your ID, name, CSS, link. So base URL bar. So base URL bar is it has a drop down menu that remembers all the previous values for easy access. The select command open will take you to the URL that the open is a one command. So Selenium command we will call it as selens command. So selens command open will take you to the URL that you specified in the base URL. Suppose in the base URL you are specified as www.facebook.com. So this open is a command that will take you to this particular web page. So in this tutorial series we will be using the https new tools.demo.com as our base URL, as it is the site for Mercury Tools, a web application that is maintained by the HP for web testing purpose. We shall be using this application because it contains a complete set of elements that we need for succeeding this topic. So throughout this tutorial for creating the Selenium ID script, I will use this particular web address. Okay. So the base URL is very useful in accessing the relative URL. Suppose that your base URL is set to this particular. When you execute the command open will with the target value as sign up, the Selenium ID will direct the browser to the sign up page. Means now you are in the this web page new tools demo.com and your target is that sign up. Target value is sign up. So the ID will direct the browser to the sign up page. Okay, we'll see this. So in the Selenium ID, so you can see the command, target, and value. So command is open. What? Open the browser. So what is the open the web address? This is the web application newtools.demo.com. So once you opened, what is your target? The target is sign up page. Okay. So command open is the command, in the base URL will be in the top here. Okay, so that is base URL, and in the base URL what is the target? You are going to sign up. So next we will see some toolbar. Toolbar, it has some the features like playback speed, record, then play the entire test suite, play the current test suite. So playback speed, this controls the speed of your test script execution. So the test script execution you can adjust here fast or slow. So if you want to see step by step, so you can adjust to the slow. There are some other features also there. Okay. If there are more number of test cases, then you can execute. You can adjust to the fast. Then that is the playback speed. Then record. This starts and ends your recording session. So you can see this button in the toolbar button. So that is the recording button. So each browser action is entered as a selens command in the editor. It is recording all the actions. That is browser actions. Play the entire test suite. So if this green button with these three lines, these three are green color, then this indicates that this will sequentially play all the test cases that are listed in the test case pane. All the test suite means the number of more than one test cases. And play the current test case means this will play only the currently selected test case in the test case pane. Okay, if here so only one line is dark here, so this is single test case. Then pause button, pause, resume. This will pause or resume your playback. Then step, this button will allow you to step into each command in your test script. Step by step you can see, you can execute. Then apply roll up rules. So this is like a roll up. This is an advanced functionality. It allows you to group all selens commands together and execute them as single action. apply the roll-up. So next we will see the test case pane. In test case means you can see the number of different test cases. Green means that the test case is passed, and if it is red means that this test case is failed. So the color represents the status of the old test suite. Here you can, if you in test case pane, after the execution of test suite or test case, you can get the result in the test case pane. So here the two runs are, because there are two test cases are there, so runs are two, and here one is green, one is red. So red is failed and green is passed. So one is failure. The number of test cases are run, number of test cases are failed. So in Selenium IDE you can open more than one test cases at a time. So the test case pane shows the list of all the currently open test cases. When you open a test suite, the test case pane will automatically list all the test cases contained in it, and the test case written in bold font is currently selected. The test case means if it is bold, then it is a currently selected test case. After the playback, each test case is color coded to represent if it passed or failed. So green color means passed, red means failed. At the bottom portion is a summary of the number of test cases that were run and failed. So in the editor, so it is the right side, it is the right side of the test case pane. In the editor, you can see the two like two options, table and source. So you can think, now we are present in the table. You can think of the editor as the place where all the action happens. It is available in two views, table and source. Okay, table and source. The table view, the most of the time you will work on the Selenium IDE using table view. So this is where you create and modify the Selenium commands, and after playback each step is color coded. So here in the type table command, you can enter the commands, you can enter the target, you can enter the you can type here, and you can see here the autocomplete feature. So to create steps, type the name of the command in the command text box. Yes, here you can, if you just typ, it will show the list of the commands that starts with type. So it has one of the feature, that is the auto complete feature. So it displays a drop down list of commands that match with the entry that you are currently typing. The target is any parameter like username, password. For a command and values is the input value, like Tom for some username and passwords. Then in the source view, it displays the steps in HTML format. By default the format is HTML. Okay, it allows you to edit your scripts just like in the table view. So here also you can edit. Then log pane. The log pane displays the runtime messages during the execution. It is the bottom of that table view. It provides the real-time updates as to what the Selenium IDE is doing, as log, reference, user element, rollup. It log means it gives the warning messages, error messages, info. So logs are categorized into four types: debug, info, warn, and error messages. By default, debug messages are not displayed in the log panel. So this is also very important. So here you can see the logs can be filtered. Here you can see, just you click on, so you can filter by debug, info, or error. You can set here.